Want to become rich? Here are the steps to achieve your goal. What many people don't realize is that most millionaires don't show off with fancy cars or expensive clothes. In fact, they often live quite simply. You won't see them in big mansions or designer outfits. Instead, they focus on spending less than they make. And that's one of their main secrets. By keeping their expenses low, they're able to save and invest, which helps them build wealth over time. This choice to avoid unnecessary luxury is what helps them reach financial independence and long-term success. There is a crucial difference between income and wealth. Many people earn well, but they spend their money as quickly as it comes in. This means they focus on earning more and more, but they think less about how to build their wealth. Millionaires, on the other hand, take a different approach. They focus on growing their wealth rather than simply earning more and then spending that money immediately. For them, the focus is on building long-term wealth, not short-term consumption. A crucial aspect of financial planning for millionaires is that they always have a clear budget and stick to it strictly. A budget serves as a tool for them to know exactly where their money is going, and it helps them to prioritize. They often apply the pay-yourself-first principle. This means that they first set aside a fixed portion of their income before making other expenses. This part goes directly into investments or savings. So they pay themselves first, before paying rent, bills, or luxury goods. This ensures that wealth accumulation always takes priority and that the money saved does not disappear into consumer spending. Millionaires then invest specifically in asset classes that offer long-term security and growth. Among the most popular are stocks, which historically provide solid returns, and real estate, which can serve not only as a value-enhancing investment but also as a source of income. Bonds, precious metals such as gold, or broadly diversified funds are also often part of their portfolio. The important thing is that they rely on a mix of different forms of investment in order to spread the risk and at the same time benefit from various growth opportunities. Sticking to a budget ensures that they always keep an overview and ensure that there is sufficient capital for these investments. This disciplined approach allows them to accumulate wealth over the years and achieve financial stability. A clearly structured budget and consistent attention to one's financial goals are therefore essential for long-term success. It is crucial to avoid consumer debt and cover expenses from your own income wherever possible. Debt from credit cards can quickly become a financial burden as it causes interest payments and hinders asset building. If you constantly spend money on consumption you can't afford, you end up paying more than you actually own in the long term and lose control of your finances. Millionaires, on the other hand, see most debt as something that should be reduced as quickly as possible to avoid unnecessary interest charges. Their goal is to cover all everyday expenses from their income without having to rely on loans. They know that financial freedom is only possible if they are not crushed by debt. But debt is not fundamentally bad. Millionaires make a clear distinction between good and bad debt. Bad debt arises from the purchase of consumer goods that lose value and offer no long-term return. Good debts, on the other hand, such as mortgages for rented properties or investments in companies, often bring in more money in the long term than they cost. Millionaires see this type of debt as a useful tool to build wealth, as it helps to create value with borrowed capital that pays off. Using debt wisely, only using it when it adds value, is a key part of their financial strategy. Many millionaires have partners who share similar financial values, which can be an important factor in their success. In a relationship where both partners value frugality, conscious money management, and long-term planning, financial goals are often more easily achieved. Shared priorities such as avoiding debt, investing in future-proof assets, and setting clear savings goals create a solid foundation for sustainable prosperity. This harmony in financial attitudes not only strengthens the partnership, but often leads to better financial decisions and long-term wealth accumulation. It is very important to generate regular income, whether through permanent employment or self-employment. A steady stream of income forms the basis for financial stability and long-term planning. It doesn't matter what industry or profession you work in, as long as you have an income that exceeds your basic needs and is not at subsistence level. What is more important is how income is managed. A proven strategy for building wealth in the long term is to invest a fixed portion of your income rather than consuming it. If you consistently save a certain percentage of your income and invest it in assets such as shares, real estate, or funds, you will benefit from the compound interest effect and the increase in value of these investments in the long term. Talking about compound interest, here is an example that illustrates and explains the compound interest effect using trees and apples. Let's say you have a tree that bears an apple every day. You sell each apple for $1. As soon as you have saved $200, you buy a new tree, which also produces an apple every day. You repeat the process and get more and more trees, which bear more and more apples, which in turn earn you more and more money every day. With each additional tree, you earn more money per day, and it takes less and less time until you can afford the next tree. Your income grows exponentially because each new tree produces apples in addition to the trees you already have. This is the compound interest effect. To make the most of the compound interest effect, early action and discipline are two of the most powerful tools. So the key is to start early to give your money as much time as possible to work for you. The compound interest effect is often underestimated because its impact is relatively unimpressive in the early years. But the longer you stay invested, the more dramatically your wealth grows. Let's take a simple example. If you invest €200 a month at the age of 25 at an interest rate of 7%, you will have saved over €525,000 by the age of 65, even though you have only paid in €96,000. If, on the other hand, you only start at the age of 35, you will only reach around €245,000 with the same interest rate and deposits. At this point you have made a lot of money. Now the following is important. Most millionaires do not live in the luxury that one might associate with their wealth. Instead of investing in expensive mansions, extravagant cars, and designer clothes, many of them prefer a more modest lifestyle. The reason for this is simple: financial independence is far more important to them than external wealth. They understand that true wealth is not measured by how much you spend, but how well you manage your money to enjoy long-term security and freedom. For millionaires, the key to wealth is often keeping their spending in proportion to their income and not living beyond their means. This enables them to constantly save, invest, and thus increase their wealth. They value financial stability and want to ensure that they can remain independent in every situation without having to rely on external sources of income. Now you know the basics of how to become rich. Click here to watch more videos on related topics and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.